Hey guys, so the PlayStation 4 controller, 5 controller, the DualSense has been revealed recently. I'm going to switch that over here real quick. It looks like this. This is an unaltered image that I got off of Google. This is not in any way, shape, or form transformed. There is my mouse cursor in the picture because I fucking put that there when I took the screenshot, but because the image file that they used was a web image file that I can't use in Photoshop because this is an old Photoshop, because I'm not fucking using freaking Photoshop that's old. Newer, because I'm not going to do a stupid like subscription thing. Anyway, I've just heard a lot of people that compare this to this, the Xbox One controller. Now, I have absolutely no fucking clue how people see this in the new controller. I also accidentally had my mouse cursor in this one because, again, I had to screenshot this off of Google. But anyway, I should probably like deactivate the mouse cursor capture in push or something. I don't know. Anyway, what I was really saying here is I did not like alter anything about any of the images. People are saying this looks like this, and I went ahead and overlaid this over a DS4, a white one for comparison's sake, and over the Xbox One controller. Now, if you look at this, that is the old DS4 morphing into the new DualSense. There is a whole lot incredibly similar about this. It's the image is just a little bit, tiny bit off. That is the exact lineup. Actually, transform. Make sure it doesn't like lock the percentages, because otherwise it's gonna be skewed. But yeah, that's more like it. Like, line that up. That lines kind of up with the controller pretty much exactly. Like on the buttons and on the sticks. The sticks and the home button are a little bit off, but yeah. That is pretty convincing. And if you look, this looks a whole lot alike. Like, this looks a whole lot like this. And I like that, because honestly, it just looks like a DS4 with slightly pointier ends down here, like on the handles. Like if you look, the DS4 would have like something like this going on, while this has only like this going on. You do see my mouse, that's good. So yeah, the DS4 is a little bit thicker on the handles, but otherwise, the general size and layout of the controller is this. Generally, this is just an updated DS4, exactly what I would expect from a PS5 controller. Now, on the Xbox side of things, I tried overlaying it. I really tried, but I always end up with it being broader. Like, none of these images were altered. I got these off the frickin' image search. I seriously don't see where this and this have a common, like, I tried making this fit. It doesn't fit. Like, if, again, we lock aspect ratio, I can make this smaller and try to fit it in here, but then the thing would have to be really small. Like, if we line up the buttons, it doesn't match. If we line up the stick, it doesn't match. If we line up the handles, it doesn't match. So I seriously have no fucking idea how people are saying this controller looks like an Xbox controller. There is nothing about this controller that looks like an Xbox controller. Like, you see that, right? It's completely the wrong shape to beat this controller. There's nothing similar about it apart from the black part standing out a little bit up there on the white of the controller. It literally has nothing to do with an Xbox controller. I'm not the only one seeing that, am I? Like, there is literally, like, perfect match. The only thing that's different is the touchpad is a little bit more bigger and more slanted on the sides and has the light bars here now. And the buttons for share and options are slanted and a little bit over and a little bit smaller now. And the general size up here did get a little bit slanted. Like, up here it did get a little bit slanted because these were like vertical, horizontal there on the DS4, but they're now a little bit slanted. That's the only difference. Like, that matches up, this does not. I don't see where this would match up. I couldn't get this to match up. Like, there is literally no way this matches. If I, let's say, again, lock the aspect ratio so it definitely fits. If I get this down to really fit the handles down here, then it's shorter. Like, this, it ends here when the Xbox controller is up here. It just doesn't fit. Again, line up the right stick and this part fits, but these are on different, like, of course the asymmetric design is different, but that's beside the point. I mean, obviously the stick on the Xbox controller is actually larger, as far as I know. So let's, but even if I line it up like that, that's not an alignment. That entire shape is not an alignment. Like, you see how that's not an alignment, right? And as I said, I got these images off Google image search without any altering of the aspect ratio or anything. This just doesn't fit with this. The only thing that's a little bit maybe like the design here is the outer edge of this, like up until like here, because this is actually different than this, but like this bulging here is maybe a little bit like that. But if you go ahead and also add this to that, this one also kinda has that same shape. I mean, there's literally nothing apart from a little bit of shaping here on the side. The size is different, the layout is different. The, like, if we go ahead and just match up these sides. Like, if I match this up, would be down here, going up until, yeah, and there it is already different here, because that goes on and that doesn't. Like, even if I get this up to size, and lock the aspect ratio again, because otherwise I'm going to just distort the thing. That's the best I can match it up. That's literally the best I can do. And it still is nowhere near. Like, this entire part here is not present on the PlayStation controller. This entire part up here is not present on the PlayStation controller. It just has a little bit of a similar shape out here. That's all. And if you look back to this, the shape is actually pretty much the same as on the DS4. Like, there's the difference of this. That's nothing. Can we now stop calling this an Xbox controller ripoff? Because it quite obviously isn't. I don't know who came up with that shit, but it quite obviously isn't. I mean, I guess maybe this is taking a little bit of an angle or something, because I can't match these up correctly exactly. But again, this here is like the only difference. A tiny little edge that only exists, really, like, that doesn't even quite exist. Like, look at it over here, look at it over here. The only thing that is really different is that this part here is more pointy on the new controller than on the old one. They refined the DS4. They didn't copy the Xbox controller. And I can't see how anybody would think that. Like, this has nothing in common. Nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. Thanks for watching.